Hey everyone, this is Wes from the Console Gaming Crew, and we couldn't be happier to announce that we are now part of the Boss Rush Podcast Network and are featured on BossRushGames.com. BossRushGames.com is a great place where you can find up-to-date news articles, blogs, and podcasts about video games. In addition to that, there is a growing collection of podcasts in not just the gaming community, but other communities as well. We are honored to be a part of such a great network of podcasters, so please stop by and give everyone a listen. Thank you, and enjoy the show. Yo, crew members, what it be?
Hey-o! Hold on. We have music.
Yeah.
I mean, hi. But we have music.
Yeah. This is the first time in what feels like a long time that we were actually able to hear our own intro music before we came on.
Yeah, it kind of makes a world of difference. When you come on and you have music.
It just
You're
sets
like,
the mood, man. It gets you amped up. Best part, we don't even know how he got it back. He doesn't know how he got it back.
No idea.
He just, I heard him click the mouse last week, and he just goes, "Huh, we have music." I was like, it was one click. What did you click on?
Well, no, we were trying to do a playback to it and see where we came back in, and then it just worked without me having to close out and go to a different thing.
So we had music this entire time. It was just a click of a button.
Incredible. So what do we got? What do we got today, boss? Tell the people.
So we have. Who came up with this idea? Or was this off the list?
No, I don't think this was
I think
off the list. Maybe. Anyway, it was a good. Whoever suggested it was a good suggestion.
Yeah. So we wanted to go ahead and do our version of our top 10 of video games that absolutely flopped.
Big old floppy dicks. Big ones.
Now, our criteria... Whoa.
What the hell were you going to say?
And I'm sober.
Criteria?
Yes, our criteria for this is mainly when the game originally released, not necessarily...
It was from the list.
Yeah.
You had it as top 6 games that flopped. We upped that bad boy.
We amped it up.
So, when they came out, they either completely just shit the bed, or it was almost directly after something happened to where people just completely lost interest.
Yeah, so, the way we organize these things, this isn't in order of best to worst. It's in order of, how highly anticipated this game was and,
And what the outcome was.
was. So, we're going to start this thing off with number 10. We're going to start with Anthony because he has Def Jam Rap Star. Yeah. Def Jam, what a throwback name, by the way.
So I never played this game. I knew nothing about this game at all.
Didn't Matt play this?
I don't know.
No, well... Was this game one of the fighting games?
No.
Like Def Jam Vendetta was?
No.
Okay, so
Okay.
I have no idea what
That's
this
what
is.
I was thinking.
Well, I played that one too. That's
so
why I was like,
I don't
this
have
awesome.
this in my notes, but I think part of the reason why this may have been a flop was because it came out around the same time as the Guitar Hero stuff as well.
Okay.
And so as that was booming, right? This came out around the time of basically when people were starting to get away from that.
Away from the Guitar Hero type thing?
Yes.
Like Guitar Hero Rock Band?
So this came out.
The market was flooded.
Pretty much. And then this came out and well, so I'll tell you a little bit about it.
I was about to say, was this like a rap version of a Guitar Hero type?
Yes.
That's incredible. I want it.
So there's I don't have a ton of information on the game. I literally, to do the research on this game, I had 30 different pages open on the interwebs, and I was like, fuck it. I'll pull as much information as I can. So Def Jam Rap Star was released in North America on October 5th, 2010, and in Europe on November 26th, 2010. The game, I know, I fucked up.
2000 is 10, sir.
2000 is 10. Thank you for letting me know that. Fantastic. Good pause. Anyway, the game was released by publisher Konami and was developed by 4mm Games, Terminal Reality, and Autumn Games.
I've seen 4mm, I think, on other lists as well for for
games that have flopped.
Done well.
The fact that you said that's 2010, there's clearly a rough stretch because the bulk of mine were 2011. So we had a stretch where
terrible
games just weren't that
terrible
great.
Games. So unfortunately, I feel like this game was plagued from the beginning. You have a game that has the name Def Jam in it, right? So when you're thinking about a rap game, you're thinking about
the iconic artists from Def Jam.
Tupac, all that kind of stuff. You're gonna have tons of cursing, tons of drugs, alcohol related rap songs and shit like that. So I think part of the reason this game was plagued is it had a teen rating.
How do you have a Def Jam game with a teen rating?
Right,
That
exactly.
has to be
So,
done.
and that's
What's
actually what I have
what
here.
is
It says
next,
with
the
the
GTA game with a teen rating?
right with the teen rating, it's going to be lackluster with the harsh songs, large amounts of profanity, and stuff like that. I think another issue that they had.
They bitched out. That's what it was. See, they didn't go full GTA where they said, fuck it, we're putting a mature rating on this thing so we can
Right.
do what I want. They wanted to have the mass sales amongst all people.
Right, and I think the thing is had they done that, there might have been more sales. Yeah.
Just think about it real quick. When you're talking about Def Jam, you think East Coast hip hop, right? So you're talking like LL Cool J. You're talking Run DMC. You're talking DMX, the Locks. Like, dude, I mean, yo, you're breaking some
stable,
shit
bro.
down.
I need that handy.
Oh, I'm not talking today.
Oh, you got plenty of talking to do.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
So in the years following the game's release, they are actually hit with two, not one, two lawsuits.
How do you have a teen rating and get hit with a lawsuit?
I'm getting into
Slip
it.
in an F word there?
No. Hold on. So yeah, Konami, Autumn Games, 4MM Games, and I can't say the word today. I'm slurring. now. Terminal Reality was faced with two lawsuits. EMI, who controls the rights to multiple songs in the game, sued for copyright infringement, totaling of $8.1 million.
Shit.
Hold on. Later that same year, in May of 2012, who was it? The City National Bank sued Konami and Autumn for fraud. The bank started the company. And the company Konami and Autumn lied to try and secure $14 million in credit, claiming it would sell over 2.5 million copies and raise $1 million to pay down the debt. Neither of which actually happened.
Ooh, good job, folks.
So the biggest
job.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it was the hardest trying to find units sold, so I couldn't really find any. The thing is when I did some of this research, and you look at the overall ratings that it got from like IGN, Eurogamer, like shit like that, like, you know, reputable sites that are like, hey, these games are gonna be good, bad, yada, you know, and some people take that with a grain of salt, and some just like,
Yeah.
right. The game got like anywhere between a 7 to an 8 out of 10.
Like, which isn't bad.
Which isn't bad, right? So, but the thing is like...
But yet it pops up on like every list of video games that have flopped.
I think it has to
Exactly.
do with the lawsuits
And that's
like the copyright infringement of the lyrics and shit.
And that's exactly the reason why this game flopped. It's not... The main reason... This is my personal opinion. The main reason this game flopped is you have Def Jam associated with a teen rating.
Yeah, how do you do
You
that?
don't... Like,
And like you said, coming out at the wrong time.
And it's
maybe.
coming out at the wrong time when
Yeah.
you have Guitar Hero and all this other kind of stuff.
Rock Band, you had.
Yeah, you're not fitting the script for what
Yeah.
people want to do. Like, I want to jam out with my homies on like a whole bunch of different, like, you know what I mean, instruments. I don't want to like rap solo in front of a TV.
I feel you. Like that's a very niche market.
That's
Insanely.
That's a
like,
very niche market.
That's like leads to like issues later on in life.
Or you become a rock star, a rap star, either one. So
Yeah,
who knows?
well,
I mean, I'm still
let's-
waiting. I'm still waiting for that first person that like.
Hey,
wins an
by the
award for
way,
rap.
I'm a badass
Grammy.
rap star because I fucking played Def Jam
Yeah.
rap star.
winning the Grammy.
Yeah.
I would like to go ahead and first and foremost thank Def
Def
Jam
Jam
Rap
Rap
Star
Star.
Oh yeah. Okay.
for helping me
So dope.
get my flow and get my rhymes in order.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
God, dude.
If I ever hear that, by the way, this game will forever have credit for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, following that, if you were to look up stuff now, they had like DLCs and stuff available, extra songs and shit.
Track lists, yeah.
Yeah, extra track lists and shit like that.
Characters? Any new characters or anything?
No, just songs.
I'm saying characters like they're not real people.
They're not. So everything that has to do with this game is no longer around. Like
Yeah.
it's gone. It's all gone. It's all gone. Like ever since the lawsuits, it's gone.
This is one of those games where if you come across it, you can probably sell it for like thousands of dollars.
No, because you can buy it for like $1.50, $2 on like
Oh,
eBay.
shit.
I was
Okay,
looking
never
around.
Probably.
Yeah. Also, I tried to do a little bit more research into like the lawsuits, and there's no word on like when it was ever finalized or anything like that either.
Okay.
Yeah, and that wasn't that also came from like a couple different articles as well.
Yeah.
From like different websites and shit like that. So
Word.
yeah, that's number 10.
Number 10, Def Jam Rap Star.
Yeah.
All right.
Number 9.
Number 9 is a game that I played the beta.
Probably hurts your heart to have to do this.
I recorded the beta and then made a video.
Didn't you enjoy the beta?
The beta was actually kind of fun.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not gonna lie.
I thought so.
So this game is Marvel's Avengers. Now, it was developed by Crystal Dynamics and then published by Square Enix. It was released September 4th, 2020. All the information that I have shows the game only sold 3 million copies.
That's nothing.
It took over 100 million for them to make the game.
That shit came out in 2021? Or
2020.
2020. Either way.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So it looks like it was an estimated loss of $63 million.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So what a lot of the fans didn't like, there were a bunch of bugs in the game. The way the characters were designed, a lot of people got mad at. You guys remember when they first talked about it? I think it might have been I think Crystal Dynamics did their own thing for like a showcase, or maybe it might have been E3. Because we talked about it. Because the characters look different.
They did their own like. Are you talking about when they did like their own
When
like
we first saw it.
Yeah, they did like their own like Avengers Roundtable
Yeah.
Collective, and that was it. Like they released their own shit. Nobody else talked about it but them. Because we sat here and watched all the episodes.
Not to mention, like, a lot of people got mad about like the voice actors going ahead.
Dude,
like,
I remember the hype for this game. Like,
Yeah.
you and I were fucking talking about it.
Yeah.
And, like, this was, like, one of the most exciting things that we were, like... This was, like, at least between the three of us, this was, like, one of the most anticipated things that we were, like, waiting for.
You
Like,
two had already ran through and were
Yep.
fans of, like, all the Marvel shit.
Oh, my
I
God.
had just gotten
Yeah.
done watching all the Marvel shit and being balls deep.
Yeah,
myself.
so
It's like,
you-
holy fuck, we can play
we can
an
play...
Avengers game
yeah,
together.
Yeah, like...
Fuck yeah.
And guess what? We haven't played that game together.
No.
Nope, not at all.
For all the reasons Wes is probably about to list.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
continue.
there was also very bland style of gameplay. Endgame just really didn't have anything there. A lot of people were really mad that Spider-Man is only coming out for the PlayStation version. You know what I mean? Like,
Because of the
there's
Sony shit.
because Sony owns it and Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man.
I mean...
Look,
Okay.
I mean, fair's fair. I
Look,
guess.
I
All the
get
all the
that.
Sony people are going to be super butthurt when Bethesda's like, hey...
Exactly.
Xbox only, like, get over it. Like,
Yeah.
this is a conversation that we've all had way too many times.
Like, that's contractual shit.
Yeah, like everybody
Sony
has
owns
their
Spider-Man.
exclusives, right? Sony has Spider-Man. Get over it.
Yeah.
Bethesda is, well, Xbox has Bethesda. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, so that made a lot
Not a
of
big deal.
Microsoft and PC people upset. And then,
Of course.
so another big thing, and
Just buy a PlayStation.
I couldn't really see why this happened. Nobody really knows what truly happened with this. But literally within 3 months, you had 96% of the game, of people playing the game completely drop off. And that was on, and that was Steam. And a lot of people are saying that for consoles, it was a very similar number as well.
Got maybe too repetitive, too grindy, too...
I don't know. So I
There's
decided...
grinding, and then there's that. That's a drop-off like
So,
you would never want to see.
I only played the beta. I never actually played the game, but I have friends who have played the game. So I decided to go to them and ask them what their opinions
Oh,
were.
you phoned a friend?
I phoned a lot of friends. Well, 2 friends, but yeah. So I asked our
That's a
boy
lot.
Hav. I asked him what he thought about it, and he went ahead and said that, in his opinion, what held it back was their way they handled the multiplayer. The campaign was primarily single player with some missions co-op, and when you did play co-op, there was no drop in, drop out gameplay.
See, okay.
Which was
I get
kind of
that.
Would have been shitty
like what we.
would have been shitty if we found that out real time. We all bought the game thinking we could just start to finish play the damn thing together.
I'll just wait until it shows up on fucking Game Pass. Is it on Game Pass yet?
It's not on Game Pass yet, but actually, like in our text thread between me and the guys, we talked about that to where they really should put it on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Well, you have this
I'll
many
wait.
issues. That's like a game just begging to come to Game Pass. Because how else are you gonna get people to play the damn thing?
That's true.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, because dude, with Game Pass, you're already paying for it, so why not test it out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be mad if I test out a game on Game Pass and it's not good.
Dan, our boy Dan went ahead and said, he agrees with Javier. I also thought that it was unique and annoying how you had to use every Avenger. You couldn't just,
Oh, you can't just like specialize in one?
That's
nah,
another
you
thing we
need to
thought.
cycle.
Nah,
We were
fuck
like,
that.
because
You
we
need
were-
to cycle through.
No.
we
fuck
all
that.
we all had our plan of who we were gonna be and we were gonna ride that.
Yeah.
Of course.
I was
Yeah.
like, yep, give me the Hulk. Let's go, baby.
And then he said, I suppose they want you to experience all of them,
No.
but with an RPG inventory management, it did get a little cumbersome. If there was a favorite one that you'd want to play with exclusively, you wouldn't be able to.
Ugh. Yuck.
Yeah, so
See, that wouldn't be.
No,
See,
that's an issue.
It almost seems like they just misled people into what the game is going to be like, because having to play as all of them isn't a big deal if you're out on Front Street that this is just a single player game.
Yeah.
Because then
Yeah.
you understand, you know.
Yeah, you're going to be
going
playing.
through
You're going to be playing through the storyline as a whole bunch
but
of
when
different
when you have
characters.
people like literally out here believing that it was just a co-op action game.
Oh my god, where
in
you
the
could
Avengers
pick who
universe,
you
where
wanted
could
to
pick
do.
who you want to play with your
Oh
friend.
god, I was so hard. And then I found out,
Yeah.
and then I was an innie.
Yeah. So I'm so far inverted right now.
Yeah.
yeah, man, but
You
like,
can't even
dude,
find
like
it.
having a game that had 96% of people just drop off out of nowhere.
That tells you your game sucks.
They weren't happy.
Now, I will say this: they have been doing a lot of bugs. I mean, they've been fixing a lot of the issues. They've been working through a lot of, dude. All the DLC when you buy the game, every single DLC that comes out after, 100% free.
Good,
You
give
don't
it-
pay
give it
for
to
it.
me on Game Pass.
Unlike some games that we're going to be touching soon, what you're saying is they're actually attempting to.
They are.
Rather than just saying, fuck it, cut our losses.
They are.
we're-
Plus,
we're
going ahead
trying.
and having the whole War for Wakanda DLC that's going to be coming out real soon,
That did
into
look
which
pretty
Christopher Judge is going to be playing Black Panther.
I thought that was really cool.
Oh my god, I can't
we
wait.
just talked. We talked about that last
Yeah, a few weeks ago, I think.
2 episodes ago.
Something along those lines.
2 episodes.
Yeah.
ago, yep.
And then
Yeah.
also, I mean, there is confirmation that Spider-Man is going to be part of some DLC for PlayStation this year. So, I mean, that gives people something else to go ahead and think about for the game.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
So, look, when it comes out, I mean, when all that stuff comes out, I mean, you have some people who are 100% dedicated to the game. Like, I have friends who are. Like,
Good
when
for
when we were doing our the co-op Friday, Clyburn was, dude, he was
That's what he
throwing
was
down on
playing.
Avengers.
That's right.
I mean,
That's
while
right.
we were streaming.
Yep.
But yeah, man, number 9 is Marvel's Avengers.
All right.
Oh,
My
this
turn.
Is yours. Yeah.
Yeah. And number 8 comes in Duke Nukem Forever. Now, Duke Nukem, that's a name you've heard for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Long time. It goes way back. So Duke Nukem Forever developed. Now, funny enough, you're going to hear this name pop up with mine a lot. The developer, Gearbox. Well, this one's Gearbox and 3D Realms. They clearly didn't have, or maybe, successes of some other games like, Wes's favorite. Maybe the standards are just super high with them. But anyway, developer Gearbox and 3D Realms. 3D Realms.
Really well.
Hello,
3D
3D Realms. It's nice to meet
3D
you.
Realms,
Buddy.
and published by 2K Games. It released in June 10th of 2011, which is crazy because the game was announced all the way back in 1997. So unlike, now this isn't strange with Gearbox because look at how long we were frustrated. Was it from Borderlands 1 to 2? What was all of them? 1 to 2 and 2?
2
Or was
to
it
3 mainly.
2 to 3 was like 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Okay. Now, imagine, was this 14 years? So, fans were originally excited after the successes of the original. Some of the reasons for the flop, and I have a bunch here. One, it was stuck in development hell because there was all the people that were in the room coming up with the idea for this game. There was not one all the way through, and it shows in the game. There was not one general consensus as to what to actually do with the game, what the story should be, none of that. And so you had a bunch of different people in control of different aspects of the game, and it felt that way. The game felt very disjointed. And for its time, the game featured gratuitous nudity, constant swearing, fecal humor, and rampant misogyny.
That sounds like an amazing game, all bundled up in one.
Well, wait a minute. I think
Tell me I'm wrong.
when we
The
talk
minus
about
the misogyny,
controversial,
Oh yeah, that.
when we talk
for
about
sure.
controversial games, I'm almost guaranteed we talked about this game.
I think.
Well,
I
dude,
think we
what the
did.
opening teaser for the damn game, like you're seeing the Duke Nukem game on the screen and thinking that's the game, but then they pan out and it's actually Duke holding the controller, playing Duke Nukem while he's like getting a blowjob from some chick or whatever. It's fucking crazy. But like that's the shit you would normally expect. But some of the reasons as to why this bad boy failed. So for one, again, it almost came across like the people didn't even really give a shit once they realized they couldn't come to an agreement on how the game should be. So
Yeah.
like so many stupid little things. Like for instance, at the start of the game, as a lot of games like to do, especially when they have long layoffs, they decided to like take a jab at themselves and joke about how long it took to develop the game. But because the game got delayed so many fucking times after the line was recorded, they didn't even get the amount of years right. Like when Duke's sitting there talking like, oh, it's been this long since we've been waiting for this game, and he was off by like 3 or 4 years. The game got delayed so many times.
That's fantastic.
The game, apparently, because of the amount of years in between in the development and so many different things that came out in games, the game ended up as a horrible mix between old school and modern style shooter games, resulting in a game whose mechanics constantly clash with each other, which is pretty fucking annoying. as I said, because no one was on the same page, the storyline was poorly written and constantly switches back and forth without any context. At one moment, Duke is... Fuck. Dinner's ready.
About to be.
In one moment, Duke is given a task to save the Earth's babes, but then it gets forgotten halfway throughout the game and is never mentioned again. So, like, there's constant, like, storyline flaws.
Plot holes like crazy.
Yeah, most of the side
Plot
characters are unlikable and annoying, and the writing is filled with... And here's the thing. Like, when we talk and we joke about, you know, gratuitous humor and stuff like that, like, there's a way you have... Like, those jokes are hard to tell if you don't have a good enough writer to make them funny.
Yeah.
And they just come across as stupid. So apparently the writing is filled with extremely stupid and sometimes even outright disgusting humor, consisting mostly of jokes that were popular in crappy, gross-out movies from the 90s. Seriously, there was even a whole trailer dedicated to Duke playing with turds.
My God.
Fuck. One example of this gross humor is there's an infamous Hive level, which not only has women being raped by aliens on screen, but also for having wall boobs that you can slap to increase your ego meter. Shit that especially... Think about this. That's shitty regardless, but imagine trying to have some shit like... When you see shit that's actively happening at Blizzard, Activision, and stuff like that, and then you got goofy shit like this. Like, that's the type of shit that you probably want to leave out of your game. You know?
Yeah.
Like, GTA shows how you can have wild shit
And see none of it.
without, like... And they cross some lines of their own, but, like, they don't cross the serious lines.
No.
Like, I can't remember in a GTA game where you're seeing, like, rape shit or, like, people fucking beating kids. Like, you know, I don't think so, unless I'm forgetting. I don't know. But, so you had shit like that, and I think that was most of the reason was the, you know, the fact that, one, it took so long that people, I guess, lost interest.
Yeah.
And two, that when it came out, you had stupid shit like that. Duke feels very out of character at times. The worst of this is when he cracks jokes, like I said, while slapping dismembered human wall boobs, and jokes about his girlfriends being impregnated by aliens, then consequently getting torn apart from the inside by octobabies. This is some wild shit, right?
This is fucking nuts.
This is some wild ass shit. What else do I have here? In one scene, Duke refuses to take a Master Chief-alike power armor and says that power armor's for pussies. That's pretty funny.
That's funny.
Actually. That's actually pretty funny.
I can get behind that. That's pretty good.
You put together a lot of things. You have all those shitty components of a game in something people have been waiting for closer to 20 years. So that comes in at number 9. Duke Nukem Forever.
Motherfucker,
And now,
that comes in at number 8.
that comes in at number 8 for those of us that can count. I'm glad Anthony's here.
Jesus Christ.
So coming in at number 7, we have Wes with a very like lovable, iconic character, but in a shitty
I'm excited.
game.
I'm actually really excited to hear the next two.
Oh my god, I can't.
Because well, here's it's twofold. It's twofold. Wes will no longer be talking after 6.
Until we get to number 2.
Right, until we get to number 2. As much. I'm just kidding. And actually, I know nothing about these games, so I'm really excited to hear what you have to say. It's going to be cool.
Before he even goes, just know that I cannot wait to just read you an initial quote about the game that comes in at number 6 before I even get into reading about it.
Okay.
What someone had to say about this game. It was
Okay.
one of the greatest things I've ever heard.
All right, so we're going to travel back to 1982, and we're going to talk about...
Before we were born.
Yep.
You too, Wes?
I was born 85.
Oh.
E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Now, this is coming right off the movie coming out, and just,
Do it.
I don't want nothing to do with that finger.
Do it.
Wes said I don't want nothing to do
Come
with
on.
that finger.
Come on. Do it. Just fucking do it. Yes! Yeah!
They touched fingers.
Yeah, we did. Index fingers,
So-
by the
I
way.
pooped. We touched
my-
slippery fingers. All right, go ahead. Make this less weird.
Yeah, right.
Please continue.
So the game was developed by Atari. They actually paid $22 million to go ahead and get the rights to make this game.
You know you have really soft finger pads.
Bro, I moisturize.
Oh my god.
I'm
Sorry,
moisturized.
Wes.
Also, just realized, and I'm so fucked up, I'll go back and do it after Wes is done, but I totally forgot to even give reviews, units sold, any of that shit. I have it in my notes, I just never said any of it.
Oh, for Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
All right.
For the Duke.
So talking about units sold and everything else, it looks like with this game, after all was said and done, it's sold about 3.2 million.
That's not...
I mean, Avengers only sold 3.
Yeah, but this is 1982 we're talking about, dog.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, where they had nothing else to play.
Now, with saying that, there are anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 million that were unsold.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Is that the game that you're probably going to say it? But is that the game where they did something ridiculous with some of those games? Is that the one where they got buried?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're going to talk about that.
Yeah. So,
Really?
It's crazy.
back in
Okay.
back in 1982, a video game would normally take anywhere from 6 to 8 months to go ahead and make. All right. You know what I mean?
Wow, really?
Yeah, dude. Just what you would consider a video game to go ahead and play. It would take 6 to 8 months to go ahead and create the whole thing start to finish.
Huh. I never knew that. It's
They
pretty cool.
gave them 5 weeks to make this game.
And you wonder why you're on the list.
5
Fair.
weeks. Now, there was actually was a vote to where they said, ET is due September 1st. Does anyone want to do it? No one volunteered at Atari. No one. I mean, yo, this shit was this whole thing was fucking bonkers, man. Yeah. So going to what Andy was talking about, they're calling this Fallout New Mexico.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
To where there are 2.5 million or more, like I said, between 2.5 3.5 million unsold cartridges that ended up in a dump in New Mexico. Dude, you're talking about like a $310 million loss for Atari in their second quarter of 1982 for this.
Yeah, didn't
For
they,
1983.
Didn't they like bury this shit out in the desert?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. They
They
actually
buried
straight
these
up.
games.
Yeah, dude. They straight up buried. Yeah, dude. Like you can see an excavator there, and you see copies.
Oh my god, dude.
That shit is so fucking funny, man.
That is
So
wild.
So crazy. Imagine just like being out there,
Wild.
not knowing, and like looking for shit, and you dig up a fucking Atari ET game,
Yeah.
and then you move 5 feet and you dig up another.
I know,
one.
right? It's just so
That
fucking
is
nuts.
wild.
Okay, so the question is, how bad was it really? You know what I mean? Like, literally, how bad was the game?
Yeah.
And according to Video Game History Foundation, reviewers from the era found the game confusing, clunky, and hard to learn. You're talking about a game that, you know what I mean?
Probably has 3 buttons.
Yeah. and bad graphics even for the time. A review from Electronic Games in 1983 said the game, and I quote, looked like it was turned out in 5 weeks, which it was. The publication expanded on this, commenting the graphics are crude, the play mechanics are unlikely to captivate any but the youngest arcaders, and the entire project seemed ill-conceived.
This is what the game looked like, bro.
Yeah.
I've seen it. It looks terrible.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's like I'm dude, number one, I'm shocked that they even got done what they got done in 5 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit's nuts. I mean, they basically forced the people at Atari to go ahead and work on this. They spent $22 million on the license just to fucking make the goddamn game.
Oh, my stomach hurts. Just from you saying
That just
that.
kind of hit you. It kind of hit you.
I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah, but dude, 2.5 to 3.5 million are literally buried in the fucking desert.
Jesus Christ, that's crazy, dude.
It's like they didn't even want to, you know what I mean, dirty up landfills with these cartridges. They just buried
It
them
said
in
your
the
game
desert.
isn't even good enough to go in the trash can.
Yeah.
We have to bury this so it never sees the light of day.
Not to mention, this game and the game that we have at number 6 are interchangeably known as the worst video games of all time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, E.T. the Extraterrestrial is number 7.
Okay,
Jeez, that's
so
crazy, dude.
what? Yeah, like your game literally got buried.
Hold on, before you go on to number 6, give us the totals for Duke Nukem, before you forget.
Okay, yeah.
Now he has to go back in his list.
Yeah, but
Sure,
I'd
dude.
rather him go
No,
back
yeah,
now
I want that.
and remember now, so at least everybody's got the totals.
Okay, so Duke Nukem Forever sold 3.5 million copies.
Okay.
376,000 in its first month, but the reviews on it, it got a 4.5 out of 10. Oh, I'm sorry. It got a 5.5 out of 10 on IGN. It got a 54% on Metacritic, and I think I think it's Google that does like the
Yeah, they do their own.
and I think it was like 29% of people were okay with it. So it pretty much was shit all over the place. Now, a game I've been so excited to talk about, like ever, because it's so fucking horrendous. In at number 6 is Superman, also known as Superman 64. It's got a couple names. Doesn't matter because they all suck.
Fair?
So, Superman 64, developed by Titus Interactive, was released May 29th of 1999. Now, here's the quote that I was talking about.
Please.
So, this quote right here. Start quote. This game doesn't even qualify as shit. It's like the equivalent of shit taking a shit. This is unspeakably, shockingly bad. It's sickeningly loathsome. It's a fucking suffering to the mind. It's a bunch of fuck, and it doesn't belong on this planet.
Holy shit.
Somebody's got to take care of it.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
that's
hardcore.
coming in hot.
Like, put it this way: it came out for 64, was so bad that it was canceled before it could come out for PlayStation, because it was supposed to come out for PlayStation 2, or as well, I should say. So, okay.
Well, let's go.
So,
Jeez.
some of the reasons for why this game flopped. Now, I don't even need to explain why the game was so highly anticipated. It's Superman. You know what I mean? So, of course, it's a fucking superhero. It's going to be, highly anticipated. So, some of the reason for why it flopped. Number one, executive meddling. The game is a prime example. Titus Interactive originally envisioned the game to be open world and even made a lot of destructible levels, but Warner Brothers were paranoid about taking on a project and told them exactly what they wanted while watching the game through a microscope. They're the reason why the game takes place in a virtual world, not allowing Superman to fight real people and having to pick up icons to use his powers.
Oh my
they had no
God.
creative freedom, and them being so busy trying to please WB is the reason why a lot of these problems that I'm about to say became a thing.
Now, it's hilarious because you realize the shit still happens now with DC and Warner Brothers and going ahead and trying to make like movies and stuff. Warner Brothers sees what they're doing and nitpick every single fucking thing to go ahead and make most of their movies fucking trash.
So, to elaborate on that really quick, micromanaging gets you nowhere in life. Except
Right?
failures.
You're right.
Yeah.
Seriously. Because
So-
after hearing what you just said, that's exactly what happened with that game. Had they had their freedom to create the game they wanted to,
They at least
it
would've had
could've-
a shot.
It could have been okay.
Well,
Same,
possibly, yeah.
It could, just like their movies, they could be okay.
So, if I tell you there's a Superman game coming out, and this is Nintendo 64 at the time, what type of what do you think you'd be doing in a game like that? Like, what are the type of things you think you'd be doing?
Leaping tall buildings in a single bound,
Sure. What else?
running as fast as a locomotive, or
Absolutely.
train,
Absolutely. Anything else?
Flying like a bird.
Sure.
laser vision,
Laser
Sure.
vision. Yeah.
freeze breath.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Just standard
Standard
Superman shit.
Standard soup stuff.
you know what you're doing? You know what you're doing for 95% of this game?
I'd love to hear. Are you walking?
Flying through rings.
What the fuck?
Like it's
Fuck you.
like Pilot Wings or something. You ever play the game? Which is
Yes.
great because that's what the game is. That's fine. But so the most hated thing in all of Superman 64 is that most of its levels rely on flying through rings to get to the end of the level, which not only does not make sense at all, but is also extremely annoying due to controls being an absolute disaster.
So it's like a speed run, but flying with Superman on N64.
Yeah, and I saw a video where if you miss, I think 2 rings, and again, the controls are clunky and horrific,
Yeah.
so it's very likely that you will. If you miss 2 rings, you got to start the whole fucking thing over.
Yo,
again. You can't just double back and go through it.
So it's a shitty speed run. Got it.
Yep. Most of the time, you will fail to pass through a ring and increase the chances of failing the level for each missed ring. Some ring levels even have the nuts to make you start right next to the end ring, which is just unfair, and the overall reason why the ring concept is just fucking awful.
Jesus, dude.
Players have
Come
to
on.
repeat the ring flying segment upon failing the objective that comes immediately after, which is likely to happen due to the unforgiving time limit in virtually every level and the fact that the mission objectives only stay on the screen for about a second, giving you no time to actually read what you're supposed to be doing. So,
You know what it sounds like so far?
Hmm.
It sounds like the people that created the game said, "Fuck you, Warner Brothers."
maybe they did do it on purpose.
Pretty much.
Maybe they did.
No, seriously.
It's hard to be that. You would think it'd be hard to be that bad accidentally.
Exactly.
Like
This sounds
you have to try.
This
to be that
sounds.
bad.
This sounds intentional.
Okay, how's it? So who made the game again?
Titus Interactive. Yeah, Titus Interactive.
I want to see
and
what
it
else
was-
they
You want to
made.
see
and
if
it
they
was-
made anything else?
And it was so it was developed by them and published by Warner Brothers?
Published by Warner Brothers, I believe. is what I
Okay.
said. Hold on.
So yeah, that is intentional fuckery, and I love it.
Fuckery.
I love it.
Okay,
I'm
so,
serious.
Developed by Titus Interactive and published by Titus Interactive.
Interesting then.
all right. So, I mean, they run through some games. They have Superman, which we're talking about right now. Titus the Fox. I'm pretty sure I heard of that one before.
Not me.
Top Gun Combat Zones.
I know Top Gun, but I don't know that.
RoboCop. I mean, look. I mean, what they have for games doesn't look like much.
Well, when you come out with this, imagine like what the fuck are you like? Who's gonna want to buy your next game?
Yeah.
Whether you did it on purpose or not.
I mean, that wasn't even their first game. You know what I mean? It looks like their first game was actually RoboCop.
Anyway, so next up, the controls. So the controls were heavily criticized for being very unresponsive, making the ring stages extremely difficult. And because the ring stages were made so freaking frustrating, it becomes worse because some rings start moving. Superman goes off course way too easily. So practice mode is also just flying through rings, but with no time limit.
Oh my god.
In which case, and unless you're playing on easy, in which case the rings don't even exist, which makes it completely pointless. The collision detection is so bad that it makes the game basically, virtually unplayable. Superman can get stuck on buildings he's several feet away from and can easily become out of bounds in the indoor levels. The frame rate is a performance disaster as the game's performance slows down and or accelerates all the time, especially in the ring stages, which shows how poor the coding of the game is. And most of the time, the game cannot even reach 25 frames per second.
Makes me want to buy this game just to play it.
Unbearably awful graphics. It's worth mentioning that it did come out in 99, so, a lot of things didn't have the greatest detail, but it's bad even for that time. Half the levels in the game have the player solve Lex Luthor's maze, which consists of flying through rings, protecting civilians, defeating enemies, and picking up cars. That's it. That is all you do in the entire game. Even worse, the game moves the rings at certain points, however, the ring stages feel pretty much all the same. Like I said, if you want to pull up a video on this shit, it is the worst thing you will ever see. It is the worst thing you will ever see. So, the only reason that this game is coming in at number 6 is because, like I said, we're not making this worst games of all time.
No.
It's based on how highly anticipated it was and how shitty it was. This has something to where it was Superman, so it's going to have a following and whatnot, but it was so incredibly shit. Wes is actually pulling up a video on it right now. There we go. There you go. Stage 1. Let's do that. This is the first fucking stage that we're about to watch here.
Oh my god.
I can't wait.
Do you have anything on the company's bankruptcy?
I do not have anything on the company.
Okay, so they
shock me that
they went bankrupt in 2005 with $43.8 million in debt.
Oh my god, that's because it was.
There you go. And before we even watch this, just to finish off it got a what the fuck? Where am I? Hey, done. Look at me, motherfucker. It got a 3.4 out of 10 on IGN.
There's Titus the Fox. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah. So we're basically watching Superman glitching the fuck out right now.
Let's play.
All right, let's play Superman 64. I wonder how long into this video before you're flying through rings. Let me guess. Oh, fucking immediately?
Licensed by Nintendo.
Yeah, and it's got a very Batman looking vibe, like the way the
animated series. Dude, it's like it looks like the old school. You know what I mean?
And people love the Batman games, which is another reason why this was so.
Just the classic way that those were drawn between Batman, Superman. Justice League. They all looked roughly the same.
And see, you look at that, and you'd think that there's going to be a lot of combat in this game because the title screen. You got. We are watching Superman just randomly fly. I don't think the level has actually started yet.
No, it hasn't.
I don't see any rings. Press start button. There you go. Oh, here we go, flying through some rings. This is the entirety of this game.
Fuck.
And see how that's actually pretty freaking fast?
Yeah.
You missed 2 of them things, and you got to start all over.
Well, I think he put it on Superman mode, so I'm guessing that's the fastest.
So this guy's just really good at this game. But still, is this
You're really good at the shittiest game in the world. That's fucking fantastic.
Is this what you would expect to be doing if you were playing a Superman game?
Lift the 2 cars before.
And see how quick that was, and you only have 6 seconds to do it. You've only seen 1 car.
Bonk. Lex wins.
Yeah. And now you got to start over.
Dude.
So it told you what to it literally Ant started reading the second it came on the screen, couldn't even finish. Now he picked up the car and it's disappeared. Shit. Yeah.
The car keeps on moving.
Where are you going? What?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that looks so bad.
This game is horrendous. So on most lists, if it
Solve
was literally
my maze. Jesus, and then you got to fly through more rings.
You guys had to start over because he missed the car thing. Because he had 6 seconds to do it, and it took 5 seconds just for the first car to show up. So.
Oh my god, this is horrible, dude.
Yeah. So if this was a list basically just on worst video games of all time, this would be number 1 on most of them.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And it is.
But since it wasn't as highly anticipated as some of the other ones, is why it landed
right in the middle.
It was lucky to land at number 6.
Yeah.
But.
Jesus,
so that is that's Superman 64.
My stomach hurts from watching that.
It's so bad. So bad. I wish I should look up how much that actually cost back in the day. How much you had to pay for that.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
looking-
Aren't you up
start
next?
Start going to number 5.
What
I like
about
four.
units? What about units sold? You got any units sold for that? I'm curious.
None.
Oh, fair.
No, it's not none.
So, 'cause at least it definitely sold on the 64, right? You said it was
It
canceled
had
for
to
the
have.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
So.
A little over 500,000 units.
Oh my god! Wow.
But put it this way: in comparison, how many units did Super Mario 64 sell? 32.9 million.
Oh my god.
This didn't even. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I actually forgot that I'm up next, and this one makes me sad because it's a game that I was actually excited for, and a lot of people were excited for because it looked really good. So coming in at number 5, you have Alien Colonial Marines. So Alien Colonial Marines, again developed by Gearbox, published by Sega, was released in February 11th of 2013. Now, as far as the anticipation of this goes, billed by Sega and 20th Century Fox as a belated sequel to 1986's Alien, that's where you set yourself up for success or failure right away. Because that movie has a ridiculous cult following.
Yeah.
The story was regarded as being official canon to the movie. Excitement built due to Gearbox successes Brother in Arms and Borderlands, and at E3 in 2011, Randy Pitchford even came out, like he does with a lot of the bigger games now, like Borderlands. They did what they normally do with those games with Colonial Marines, where they came out and had like a whole showcase for this game.
Wow.
He came out to give a first look. Everything looked great. The sight, sounds, and atmosphere all looked to be authentic to the Alien universe. And now when the game actually dropped. So the main problem is that it was extraordinarily buggy and glitchy. And these are also things that I know about because I bought this game. I was excited for this game. I bought this game. I own this game.
Yeah, I know.
So-
I remember.
Still to this day.
Still to this, you know me. I've never gotten rid of a game ever.
Maybe
so, yeah, I still
maybe
have
this
it.
is one you should like burn.
Maybe. So when I say very buggy and extremely glitchy, I mean certain things like human characters would randomly scream about things that weren't even happening. So you'd just be walking through and hear someone scream, "Oh my God, they're coming out of the ceiling!" when nothing was happening. There wasn't even anything in the room.
They're out in space.
Yes.
Literally, they're in space.
So, yeah.
They come from the ceiling. What?
Now, unlike the exceptional programming on the Xenomorph AI, which you get in Alien Isolation, which came out much later, which is phenomenal about how it's unscripted, it comes when it wants to, and it's great at tracking
Evolutionary
and stuff
AI.
like that. It's phenomenal. You did not have that in Colonial Marines. The Xenomorphs would frequently get stuck in the scenery, glitch through walls, run around in circles, or one of the more funnier things, they would run away from you. Right?
Come here.
No!
Come here.
No!
I'm gonna come out of your chest.
I just want a hug.
They would just run away from the player entirely. And if that wasn't even bad enough, there were long stretches of the game, of an Alien game, Alien, Colonial Marines, there were long stretches of games where you didn't even go against any aliens. You were just going against human enemies that they randomly threw in for whatever reason. Some possible reasons, and I'm not trying to make excuses, but this is what happens. Some possible reasons for it being so bad could have been due to a lack of funding, because even though the game was first mentioned in 2006, Sega was hit by a financial slump in 2008. So much so that many people thought the game was going to be axed completely, alongside some other projects that did get axed. Mm-hmm. And rather than a collective effort, much like with Duke Nukem, rather than a collective effort, different developers of the game were tasked with different parts, which left the game to feel disjointed. So you had like a bunch of people. It was one person's job for the story, one for multiplayer, one for this, rather than like collectively building this thing together. But what I would say is, if you're going through a financial hardship like that, you probably should have just axed the game. There's no reason to put out a game that you know is that fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on.
I guess you're trying to recoup some of your losses.
Here's the thing: it depends on how much you have into it.
At that point in time,
If you have 50 to 75% of the game completed, I wouldn't
Yeah.
maybe axe it, but I would definitely put it off to the side.
Or don't charge as much.
No, just put it off to the side and like
Just shelf
like
it for a bit.
companies are doing
Yeah.
now. Say, look, listen. Unfortunately, and I think maybe it's a pride issue with the company.
It could be.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have easily been like, hey, at this time, in this juncture of what's going on, we unfortunately
this
can't
yet.
release this game. We're going to put it on the shelf for now, and we'll come back to it at a later date. It will be released at some point in the future.
at that point,
And
you
it'll be
gotta-
much better for it.
At that point, you also have to go ahead and just hope that, you know what I mean, like the engine that it's being ran on doesn't like change to where that to where then you have to go
Become
ahead
like obsolete.
because then you need to build the game again from absolute scratch.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have to build the game from scratch, or can you just
Like load it into the new engine.
load it into the new
These
engine?
are things I don't know,
These
'cause
are
I'm
things
not
we
a-
don't know. So
Everything that I've seen,
these are just questions. That's all they are.
Well, everything I've seen, even comes down to game development. Like when they go from like Unreal 4 to Unreal 5, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you need to basically remake the game.
But how do they?
That's crazy.
But how do they remaster games then?
Well, I mean, all a remaster is going ahead and just polishing up a little bit of the graphics.
That's basically the same thing they would have to do from going one engine to another, right?
Well, no, because
Is it still run on the same engine? They just clean up. Like I don't know how this shit works. Is what I'm asking.
Like, do you know?
I mean,
Or are you just pulling shit out of your butt?
Well, no, I'm not pulling shit out my butt. I mean, that's nasty. But.
All right, here it is.
He just said, "Here it is, right here." I got nothing
Well,
to
not
back this
well,
up.
not like I said. I've looked into, you know what I mean, like, I've done a little bit of research on that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of what I've seen. A lot, like when you're going from different, it's going from like Frostbite to like Unreal. You know what I mean? Then you have to go ahead and like basically remake an entire game.
Fair enough.
Right.
The game did manage to sell 1.31 million copies, which still doesn't blow anybody's socks off.
It's kind of what we've been seeing with these, with these games.
Yeah.
Sold twice as much
Anywhere
as
from
Superman.
anywhere from like 2 to 4 million copies.
Yeah, well, this was under that. Like I said, 1.31.
Yeah.
It got a 4.5 out of 10 on IGN, 45% on Metacritic, and I think like 30% of Google liked it. So it was shit. It was sub 50 everywhere. So that is Alien Colonial Marines,
At
which
number 5.
which makes me sad because that game had a lot of promise. But moving into number 4, Anthony has an interesting one here. One that he's actually got info on that Wes and I don't know that we're excited to find out.
I do.
Yeah, you said there was things that you weren't telling us yet about No Man's Sky.
No, it was about the Def Jam.
No, there was something about No Man's Sky, wasn't it? Didn't you say something about like lying to people and he said it was in there?
Oh, and it's not in my notes. I think it's in here though. I have 2 different sets of notes, so I got to work with
Fuckers
fucking.
out here making me look like a liar. I know what I'm talking about.
Stop lying to us. No Man's Sky was released in August of 2016. It was developed and published by a company called Hello Games.
Hello.
Hello Games.
Hello.
Sean Murray, the founder of Hello Games, wanted to create something special that captured the sense of exploration of science fiction writing and art from the 1970s and 1980s. However, that wasn't the case. Upon release, the game has received mixed to average reviews. Usually that means it's not going to be all that good.
Fail.
Yeah. It seems like the game had a lot of it was all pumped up, ready to go. Lots of really good feedback before the game was ever released. After the game was released itself,
we expected one thing and got something very different.
yeah,
Yes.
a lot of the players basically it was just straight negativity,
Yeah.
which is fine.
Wasn't it just like a lot of exploring with really nothing to see?
So here, it says right here, users expressed a lot of concern with the apparent lack of features and other issues associated with the PlayStation 4 launch, while many players on the Windows version via Steam gave game negative reviews due to poor graphic capabilities or inability to launch the game. So that right there...
I do remember that.
Let
I
me
do
buy it
remember
and
that.
can't use it.
I do remember that,
exactly. Players were also disappointed at the lack of features that Hello Games and Sony... Because so the thing is Sony... For what this game wanted to do, they wanted... I think I have it written down. Hold on. Don't get mad at me. I gotta find it because I got it in my notes somewhere.
We're not going to get mad at you, bro. Read faster.
A procedurally generated universe. So basically, the universe is ever growing, and I think
That is
right. So
you're shooting for the stars here.
right. So it says open world universe, which includes over 18 quintillion planets. Right. So it's an ever expanding universe that you can explore.
So you'd never be you'd die before getting to visit every single one of those.
Pretty much. So
Lofty goals.
And Sony was actually the company that helped, because this is a small indie game studio that was trying to do this. So Sony Interactive Entertainment actually helped, I guess, launch the name of this game out there. Basically help get the name of the game out there and what it was about.
Yeah.
So that goes into this really quick. Hello Games and Sony had... Let me digress, sorry. Players also disappointed at the apparent lack of features that Hello Games and Sony had stated in earlier announcements and interviews would be included in the game. A list initially compiled by members of No Man's Sky subreddit consisting of such features appeared around week after launch. Yeah.
Wait all that long, I guess.
What does it say here? Mostly negative. Yeah, go ahead, Wes.
Now, so I remember when all this stuff came out for this game, because one of the things we were so excited for was that you essentially had an open world space game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Open world to where that you can go to any planet, do anything you want. I mean, it seemed like things were either going to be peaceful or not, and then you had to go ahead and play accordingly to whatever situation you found on whatever planet.
Yes.
And what the players got was nowhere near that. It was bland planets. You didn't have barely any interaction with anything.
There wasn't even really any like life forms or anything, right?
You could have, and also it was a multiplayer game. I mean, it was an online game. You could go months without seeing another player. I mean, it does take. I mean, it lends credit to them for going ahead and making a game that's that expansive. You know what I mean? But not being able to see a single other person in a game
that is multiplayer
is.
Well, here's the thing. So it says right
it's
here.
mind-blowing.
It says right here, one of the more significant features that appeared to be absent from the release version of No Man's Sky was its multiplayer capabilities. Hello Games had stated during development that No Man's Sky would include multiplayer elements, though the implementation would be far from traditional methods as one would see in a massive multiplayer online game, to the point where Murray, remember, he's the founder or the owner, or the founder, CEO of Hello Games, estimated... Murray, hold on. Where the fuck was I? I literally just lost myself. And I thought I had my thumb next to it. Fuck! Here you go. Right. To the point where Murray has told players to not think of No Man's Sky as a multiplayer game. I fucking literally freaked out for that. Eat a dick. Anyway, collectively, when the game first came out, they actually only sold 823,000 copies.
Whew. Now, do you have anything on... Because one thing that we wanted to give credit to the game for was a complete overhaul.
The game...
Let me see if I can find something. Go ahead.
I have some things. That's why I was asking.
So I do know that the game has actually won, like, the Game Awards for... I mean, essentially, like...
Redemption.
Comeback Kid of the Year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they scrapped the game, basically redid the entire thing. And then now it's considered... one of the best open world games you can find currently, with the graphics and everything else, and being able to interact with everything on all these different planets. I mean, because you can like create stations, you know what I mean, on these different planets, and you can go from one to the other, and go ahead and just keep on exploring. Yeah,
I'm actually seeing here on their website right now that apparently they release pretty frequent updates, and like
which is great.
Just the most recent one, for instance, update 3.0 that I believe just recently came out. It says that No Man's Sky dramatically expands the universe, explore a stranger... Did you just fart?
Nope.
Oh. Explore a stranger, richer, and more varied universe with deeper planetary diversity, dramatic new terrain, a host of new creatures, new weather conditions, colossal buildings, and much more. So the creatures, the weather conditions, the building, like those are things that I don't even think existed the game's first time around.
Yeah.
Or if they did, good luck ever finding them.
Yeah. And like, I mean... Jacob from What's Your Spaghetti Policy, dude, he plays this. He plays No Man's Sky, dude. He's already, thrown in probably close to 70 hours on this game now.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean, with all the new stuff that they've done to go ahead and make it a better game, and he loves it.
Well, dude, let me. Do you have anything? Or you want me to
no,
keep going?
Go ahead.
Well, let me read some of these because this actually
please.
sounds great. So this is right off their website. So new planets. It says existing solar systems have birthed new planets, creating millions of untouched new worlds to explore. Some rare systems are now home to multiple stars, creating stunning new patterns in the sky. Dramatic landscapes. These new worlds have vast, sweeping terrain. Their mountains and vistas are on a colossal new scale, giving shape to more dramatic, awe-inspiring scenery than ever before. Whilst flora, fauna, and atmospheric conditions have been changed throughout the universe, existing worlds will retain their old character, allowing player bases to remain undisturbed. New user interface. Interfaces and menus have been totally overhauled with new colors and styles for a fresh new aesthetic. Richer diversity. New life has been breathed into every planet in the universe. A huge range of never-before-seen planetary flora and curiosities have been poured into the galaxy. Countless strange new combinations are out there awaiting discovery. Discover strange new species of fauna. These alien wildlife can be encountered roaming the terrain, rolling along it, or even burrowing through it, and it all may be harvested for edible produce. There's a lot that they have done with this.
Right, so what we're saying is they did a good job overhauling.
Oh my god, yeah.
They
overhauling the piece of shit they released.
They overhauled it and made the game deep. They made the game so deep.
Dude, I won't
so
even...
what you're saying is they made the game that they should have made from the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah, I won't even explain all these, but just some of the headings on some of these. Alien fauna, cloud and weather variety, marshes, increased color variety.
The fact that the
improved
weather
teleporters,
is, the weather's different and it can get randomized from planet to planet is actually pretty interesting.
historical stories. That's actually pretty cool. Visit colossal archive buildings to uncover new cultural and literary histories.
See, that's a hard word. Remember, I had an issue with it earlier. Fuck off.
Hidden away by ancient alien civilizations. So you can find these places that will give you.
This game essentially became Star Trek. Because the point of the whole point of everything that happened in Star Trek was to go ahead and find planets and observe them.
And he's gonna go home and download the game now.
It's on Game Pass.
Dude, they got.
I know.
Yeah, dude.
That's why I said he's gonna go home and download.
They got infestations now. A number of planets have become infested with anomalous life forms and vegetative growths. Take extreme caution when exploring such planets. Look at some of that shit.
Invasive species. Holy shit.
You didn't see shit like that its first time around. It looked nothing like that.
Yeah, that's dope.
Nah, that's awesome.
Oh,
we'll all download. Meet me at this planet, bro.
No, we're not doing that. I'm not doing that. Fuck off. I just realized I'm going again.
Yes.
I went twice in a row. Now you're going twice in a row.
I can't see because my cup's in the way. What is this, number 3? This is wow, we're getting to the top 3.
We're
all right, well, so
we're in the shit now, bro.
To cap off the top 3 is it was one of my it really was one of my favorite games when it first came out.
Dude, we were so excited. We played the shit out of it.
And we actually talked about it our very first episode of the podcast.
Shut the fuck up. The worst episode ever of our podcast. Let's not bring that up, please.
Yeah. And what did we get so excited? Why is some of the reason we got so excited about it? Because who made it?
BioWare.
And it's dude, they didn't.
So good.
To our knowledge, they hadn't released any shit.
Ever.
Nah.
Well, except for... Nah. Anyway. So, the game I'm about to bring up breaks my heart talking about it.
It breaks all of our hearts, man, because it had so much promise.
And like Wes said, it was the very first episode of our podcast ever. So, it's kind of like...
And that was back
when we thought it holds a very special spot for us.
A little bit. So, the game I'm talking about is Anthem. And... This one, I think, for me, is going to be a little in-depth. A lot of my information is coming from Wikipedia and other sources.
Also from his own brain, because we played the shit
personal.
out of it.
Yeah. So it's going to be a little bit longer than probably the previous ones, as I think the next 2 after mine will be as well. So Anthem itself is an online multiplayer a role-playing game developed by BioWare and published by EA. So right there, that sounds like success, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The game was released worldwide for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, Xbox One on February 22nd, 2019. And actually, I was really excited about it because it came out around my birthday, and I bought it, and I took off for my birthday to play this game.
I remember all this.
Yes.
I feel like I took off for your birthday and played the game with you.
We did. Set on an unnamed planet, players assume the role of freelancers, heroic adventurers who wear powerful exosuits to defend humanity from threats beyond their city's walls. I feel like people, if they go back to the first episode, they're going to hear everything again.
Except for back then, we're talking about it like we actually love it.
Oh, God.
The difference between this episode and our first and how we're going to be talking about this fucking game is ridiculous.
So true. The game's title refers to Anthem of Creation, a powerful and mysterious force responsible for most of the extraordinary technology, phenomena, and threats in the world. In the main narrative, the player's freelancer is tasked with stopping the villainous Monitor from seizing control of the Anthem.
It's just sad.
It is. Anthem received mixed reviews from critics who criticize it for its grind and shallow gameplay. I'm all about the grind. We've talked about this before on numerous episodes. I don't mind grinding.
I'm all about the grind when there's actually a reward that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think we'll get into that. We'll talk about that. Technical aspects and story, although its combat, flight controls, and visuals received the praise. That was basically the praise of the game.
That's one thing I'll always still give it. That game is gorgeous to look at.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful.
Oh my God, the environments,
the flight.
Oh my God.
Depending on the suit you were wearing, I mean, there was one where you were incredibly agile in the air.
Didn't you also always inverted your flight controls, didn't you? You cock.
Of course, bro. Of course I did.
Despite some positive sales achievements, the game failed to meet commercial expectations. Although BioWare announced in February of 2020 that they would be reinventing the core gameplay of Anthem, which I know we talked about.
Yeah, we did.
And we were all pretty excited about to see what BioWare was going to give us. The game ceased all operations in February of 2021, which was actually... For me, it was sad because it was a good game. I enjoyed the game. I
would have liked to have seen what they could have done with it because the bones were there.
Exactly.
For something really good. And it's graphically, you didn't have to touch nothing.
No.
Nothing at all. It was an absolute stunner of a game. Yeah. And if you go back and you look at the reviews that it got, it was anywhere between like 6.5 to 6.5 and up. That's not like fantastic, but it's something
certainly
that
not the worst.
Yeah.
It's something you could work with, especially if you're going back to reinvent the core of the game.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean that's like all I've got really for the information. This is I'm going away from notes here.
Now go more personal.
Well, because this is all
This is all going to be more personal more than anything. The game itself was so good. Again, with the excitement that it like this game was so anticipated because
you had the companies to back it.
You had the companies to back it. You had everything from a new style of RPG, multiplayer RPG. You could play with your homies. You literally could
drop in, drop out.
Drop in, drop out. Campaign mode was together as a crew, start to finish. Like it was there. Like it was all there. The flight, the fucking grinding for the legendaries. And I know you guys are gonna caveat off of this, so that's where we're gonna get into the issue of the grinding.
Well, I wanted to ask a question first because you guys played.
I told you this last night when we were playing, which we'll actually get into when we talk about what are we playing because I'm excited because we actually have something to talk about.
For sure,
I do. We all do. But there were times where I'd hit you guys up after work, like, "Hey, y'all gonna play fucking Anthem? Yeah. Nah, we got things to do. Maybe later. All right, dope." And I would grind out for like 6 hours playing with randos because you could drop in and play with random people too, which was fantastic.
Yeah. But
and I would play with randos for like fucking 4 or 5 hours.
Another game that you guys played. Now, did Anthem come out after Destiny, the original Destiny, and how successful that game was?
Yes, it did. But okay. I think the difference between Anthem and Destiny is
because at its core, weren't they kind of similar in like the way they're played?
Yeah, right? I mean, minus the flight controls and like the fucking overall like beautiful scenery.
Well, I think no doubt.
Don't get me wrong. Wes and I grinded for fucking ever on Destiny.
Yeah, we did.
The difference being though, and it's a perfect gateway because that's exactly what we were about to talk about. When you grinded in Destiny, didn't you absolutely get what you were grinding for?
Not all the time.
No,
but you had a better chance.
You knew what you were working for when you were doing certain things. Like when you went for Vault of Glass, you know what I mean? I mean, when you went to do the 6-person raids, you knew what you were aiming for. You knew what your level needed to be in order to even compete at that.
Yes.
One of the things I wanted to talk about with Anthem that was so cool, and it sucks, once again, even the fact that it's not here, was the way that the flying mechanics were done. You could overheat.
Yeah.
But if you flew through
water, dog, what the fuck?
Everything cooled down.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Hello.
And then,
fucking amazing.
The graphics on the waterfalls were just
gorgeous. Not only
that's what I was about to say.
Do you remember when you could fucking fly? Well, it wasn't really flying. You were flying because you were still using your propulsion. Through the water.
Oh yeah.
Underwater.
You went
underwater.
And then you could do that limitless because there was no heat because of the water. Like the physics, the actual physics that made sense.
It was there. Why didn't you just rebuild the game and give it a chance?
Why didn't you No Man's Sky it? Why?
Yeah, no, seriously. They talked about No Man's Skying it.
Because here's the thing, because I don't think they would have had anywhere near as far to go as No Man's Sky had. No Man's Sky had to literally like rebuild everything.
No, but they
and they're still doing it. Like I feel like Anthem didn't have that far to go. Like I don't think you had to
Anthem was a lot closer.
Everything.
Anthem was a lot closer than No Man's Sky was.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so I'm gonna go back. These aren't my notes. This is from Wikipedia. So sales, really quick. Anthem topped retail sales charts in the UK during the first week of its release. Although its launch week retail sales matched half of those of BioWare's previous games of Mass Effect Andromeda in Japan, Anthem reached the top sales charts with 78,000 copies sold at launch. In North America, according to NPD data tracking, Anthem represents the second highest launch month sales ever recorded in BioWare developed game, trailing only the March 2012 release of Mass Effect 3, which is obviously normal.
Of course.
Anthem was at the top of PlayStation 4 downloaded video games via PlayStation Store in March of 2019. Superdata reported that the game had earned over $100 million in digital revenue in February 2019 alone, of which $3.5 million came from in-game purchases alone. Why are you not building on something so good that people are interested in?
That is why it's number 3 on this list, because that shows you how highly anticipated it was. Because all those sales were before everyone knew how shallow the fucking game was.
Yeah.
Because everyone thought it was something completely goddamn different.
And that's when you take all the fucking beautiful shit that you created in that game and you go, you know what? We're going to make a dope-ass fucking upgrade for like a new patch for it and a DLC on us.
So many of these games have done like literally 20, 30 gigabyte fucking patches into which they've absolutely just reconstructed the game.
Now, here's something that I have to ask.
No. I got more. I'm going to go into more. It's just blowing my mind as I read it.
One wonders, because it is baffling how you can have the bones of a game like that and all the things there and say that you're going to work on this thing and then randomly just scrap it. So it gets you thinking, why would you do that? And I'm wondering if that's where they made the decision to put all of their eggs in the remaster for Mass Effect and the Legendary Edition and all that. I wonder if that is, because that's BioWare, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's something that hey,
if that might have been the precipice that tilted it.
So after reading this, I think this is part of the reason why this failed. Anthem failed to meet EA sales expectations with a target set of 6 million copies to be sold at the end of March. EA CEO Andrew Wilson said Anthem did not reach the sales goals, while EA CFO Blake Jorgensen admitted that more money was expected to come from the game's microtransactions as well. That's an issue in itself.
We talked about actually having an episode dedicated to microtransactions,
and we will at some point. In June of 2019, Wilson reiterated how Anthem was not working as planned in keeping players engaged. Excuse me. Although he stated that BioWare, I swallowed my tongue. BioWare would continue to support the game. Now here, I want to go over this. This is awards but nominated and
before you get to that, because so you said they failed to reach by the end of March, right?
That's 1 month.
So that's what I'm saying. So we now figured out the time frame it took for people to realize that the game wasn't great. It took 1 month.
Yeah. But after you find out that 1 month and you made fucking plenty of money,
think of how long it took you to probably build the game.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it took 1 month to figure out that it wasn't all that great, but you've invested all that time. Keep going.
Just fucking fix it, bro.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So these are the awards that they were nominated for. Now they didn't win, but hold on. So 2018 Game Critic Awards: Best of Show, Best Original Game, Best PC Game, Best Action Game, Best Online Multiplayer Game.
Best everything ever.
They were nominated. They were all nominated. They won Best PC and Best Action. 2018 Golden Joystick Awards: Most Wanted Game, Game Choice Awards: Most Anticipated Game, both nominated. 2020. This is fucking 2 years later. Visual Effects Society Awards: Outstanding Visual Effects in a Commercial, nominated. NAV GTR Awards. I don't know what that is.
And they didn't even win those?
Nope.
I want to know who they're up against, because those I would have given.
I have no idea. And Original Dramatic Score New IP, nominated in 2020.
The music was nice in there too.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, sound effects, all audio was great. Audio visual was not that game's issue.
No, not at all.
Not one bit.
And so that is like my biggest pet peeve of why you fucking scrub a game a couple years later. Look, listen, here's the thing, okay? This isn't like fucking E.T. and Superman and fucking Duke Nukem smacking fucking ugly titties on a wall. Here's the thing. This is fucking 2018 where you got a game that was highly anticipated. You have a huge cult following already before the game even releases. You fucking make $100 million in the first fucking week. And you're telling me you're not going to take the extra step to try and just let's put a little bit.
They're telling us they're not hitting expectations.
Fuck you. In a month? Fuck off. In a month, you decided you're not
decision.
EA. That's fucking micromanaging is what that is. That's EA.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you have a game that could have been outstanding had they fixed a couple things, because you're right. The grinding got super fucking annoying.
Their marketplace in the home hub was also absolute shit.
It was absolutely shit.
You went in and you
terrible.
You had whatever credits you wanted to go ahead and use, and you had nothing to spend on because it was all just.
It was always the same shit.
And it was all just aesthetic. There was nothing else. It didn't help.
And the other
it didn't
issue,
help with any weapon boosts.
Well, like where you have Borderlands, which shows you the absolute best of how a looter shooter can
loot
work,
mechanic
or how a loot mechanic works. This is the opposite end and the worst way a loot mechanic works, where we could like we all said all the time, we don't mind the grind. We come up from games like that. Before I even go to the first gym, I train Pokemon for like 14 hours before I even go in the first gym. I know what the grind's all about.
Facts.
But every time I grind, I know I'm going to get that next level. In this game, we could grind for 10 hours looking for a masterwork item and never fucking get one. Or you get it and it goes to a fucking javelin you don't even have, that you're not even using.
And so
it was so broke.
I was just going to say that's part of the other reason it failed.
Oh my
And
god,
that's
it's
where
horrific.
they lost the audience,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Like
I think the percentages on like once you really like started grinding for your items, your masterwork items, to really upgrade your javelins, the percentages, I could have swore you sent them to me or you sent them in the group between the three of us. It was like 0.01 or
Extraordinarily low.
0.001% to get
Extraordinarily
like
low.
gold tier items. And when you got a gold tier item, it wasn't for the javelin you were
you
fucking
get
using.
so excited. You
Yeah, which is
finally see the gold or the orange light steam, and you're fuck yeah! I took 6 hours to get here, and then you pick it up, and you're like, what the fuck? I either A, already have this, or B, I'm not even using
never
this.
gonna use the fucking juggernaut. Thank you, goodbye. Wesley likes the juggernaut.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. If
But-
you want to have the game be that fucked up, okay, allow me to trade these things with
And
people I'm playing with.
I was just about to say that. Allow me to like
Fixes
gift
all
it to
that.
a homie. Yep.
Yeah, that
'Cause
fixes that
then-
issue,
yeah.
at least. You still shouldn't need 10 hours to get one.
Exactly. Incorporate like DLCs where you're giving us new content too, like new
Yeah.
javelin suits, new fucking.
I
you know
would
what
want
I mean?
yeah, new enemies, because like the bosses
New
were cool,
enemies.
but what were you recycling? The same 5?
Yes, and that's
That
the
big
thing.
ass spider
Yeah.
and the fucking
New javelins.
In the open world, you had the ones where it had the,
The
shit
big-
sprouting off its back.
Yep.
the big
Yeah.
fucking giant.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, give me new javelins.
Yeah,
give me
there
new
really wasn't
fucking
much.
new
Yeah.
enemies for sure. New locations or same locations but different bosses.
Just different parts of the world.
Just
It is a fucking planet that you're on.
Yeah,
It's
like
just
seriously,
just
when you
different sections.
imagine
dude,
when you
that game
have
was
like
so pretty
with how stunningly pretty that game was. Could you imagine, like, with all the shit that they put into the underwater and all the the shit that you had there? Can you imagine if you had a more arid desert looking area, if you had a snowy area, if you had like the shit visually that you could have done with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you already obviously had whoever was in your visual department, you did your job in that game.
Yeah.
Like you did what you were supposed to do.
sound, audio, and
Yeah,
visual.
you
guys
all-
did
you did your thing.
amazing.
You
Thank
did your thing.
But
But the
Fuck,
game just
dude.
ended up being so like it almost it almost felt like you didn't even get a full experience. Like you paid $60 for half a game.
yeah, you did. You
Like,
did.
Yeah.
It
Nah, agreed.
It's-
100%.
Oh
It
God.
sucks.
Anyway, before I get even
It hurts.
angrier, Wes, you're up, buddy.
it just
What do we
sucks.
got?
All right, so for number 2, we have a game that
We all played.
Similar to what these next two, well, minus number 1, like these all are
No,
going to
I-
be for similar reasons to Anthem.
Yeah. Nah, dude, this game came out in 2018, and it actually released November 14, 2018. I remember when we first saw the E3 launch for it.
We were
Andrew
together.
WK,
We were together.
We were at McCrib. Yep.
Yeah.
We were drinking and eating.
Yeah, I am talking about Fallout 76. Made by Bethesda. The game roughly sold 2.5 million units. It is currently on Game Pass. I will say that. All right, so
Cool.
I don't care.
Yay.
yeah, let's.
I like turtles.
Let's break this shit down. All right, so let me go ahead and just give you just a brief synopsis of what the game actually.
My man was holding that last nuggie for so long, and now he's munching away.
Yeah.
Set in a alternate history, it takes place in the year 2102, 25 years after a nuclear war that devastated the Earth. Your player character is a resident of Vault 76, a fallout shelter that was built in West Virginia to house the America's best and brightest minds. So, if anybody has played a Fallout game before, you're living in a post-apocalyptic world, in post-nuclear. You have to deal with a whole bunch of mutated stuff that happened from the nuclear blast.
From the Fallout and all that.
This is now what made this game look so neat was that this is the closest we ever got to when the bombs dropped.
Yeah.
25 years. Basically just fucking happened. Okay? And this is what the fuck we got. Now, the game was online only.
Mistake number 1.
First big issue. Now, when we've all played Fallout 3, Fallout 4, New Vegas.
so good.
One of the things we always talked about is we just want an online a co-op aspect to the game.
We wanted the same thing you gave us. Just let me drop my people in with me.
Yes,
that's it.
I said this at the beginning. Don't reinvent the fucking wheel. Just add new tread to it.
Yeah, just let me bring my boys with me and keep everything else the same.
Yep. Let me do the campaign co-op.
Yes, that's
So
it.
good. That's all you need.
Yeah, so basically, dude, this game was absolutely boring as fuck.
Yeah, we know.
Before they went ahead and did everything that they have going on right now, you had no NPCs in the game.
Nope.
None.
I know.
How does that make it to like launch? By the way, if you're creating that game and you've made Fallout games before, how does that make it past like however many levels of people
Everybody.
it has to get through?
How
How does
the
that
fuck
get
that make
through
it past
everyone?
everybody?
How did that not get to someone's desk and go, nope,
Wait.
that's not what we do.
What did you just say? You did not say desk.
I said everybody's desk, right?
Nope, you said like everybody's zest.
Or dicks, whatever. Everybody's dick.
I didn't say
did it
dick
pass?
either. I said zest, like like lemon zest. Where are you getting dick from, dog?
I don't know.
You know what? I want to know. Keep it to yourself.
Look, man, it was a huge detriment to the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even when it first came out. Me personally, dude, I put in easily 15 to 25 hours within the same section of the game because I played the beta before the beta because I got an invitation to go ahead and run through
pre-beta,
it.
yeah.
Then I played the actual beta. Then I played the actual fucking game. Number one, none of that shit ported over, which fucking pissed me off. You mean
I thought it was supposed to.
I think I kept guns, but I still had to run through the same fucking missions over again.
Oh god.
I mean, look, dude, I haven't touched this game in
Since then?
well over a fucking year and a half.
Good. Don't waste your time.
I haven't touched it since the last time you touched it.
What? Giggity. Funny.
That's funny.
Well, I think, Andy, you and I used to fucking throw down all the time, and we literally did nothing but stay in, like, one location.
Yeah, because that's all we could freaking do.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't even have to do any of the campaign. None. There was no purpose for the campaign at all.
Yeah, and every time I got online, everybody was trying to fucking blow the map. I can't even talk.
Blow the map up?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Drop the fucking... Yeah, you'd have to go to Alpha Beta Charlie
Yeah,
and
like,
then
knock
go
it
ahead
the
and
fuck off. Like, what?
just fucking drop the nuke.
Fuck you.
Well, the whole purpose of dropping the nuke was to go ahead and bring out the Scorch Beast Queen, and then from there you could go ahead and get other things. You mean, but
Yeah, but, like, that's all people fucking did.
Yeah, like there's a reason for it, but there's not a reason for it 500 times.
I'm pretty sure that thing attacked us, like,
Enough.
499
So-
times.
we had
many
plenty of
times.
fucking Scorch Beasts come at us.
Fuck that thing.
It was...
Bitch.
It was crazy.
Another thing that happened with the game was that you had a bunch of... I mean, we've had people that have been on this podcast have talked about... it's essentially glitching the game out and stealing from the game.
Nothing wrong with that. Fuck them. They stole from us. They made it. No, they didn't make us.
They found ways of dubbing like elite guns and and weapons and armor and shit.
Yep.
And then storing it and then going ahead they just kept on just glitching the system.
Good.
And then when
Fuck 'em.
Bethesda got savvy of it, they were like, okay,
Yeah, they were banning people left and right.
oh yeah, dude.
Hi, we're gonna ban you, even though you just spent $70 on our shit fuck game.
John got a long ban, didn't he? Like for
His
a
was
fucking
few
hot
months.
second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, dude, he lost everything, every single gun, even the ones that weren't spammed, he lost them.
I mean, you get what you get. I mean, look, no one made me buy the game. I realized that if I'm cheating, I'm running risk.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
get
look, man, I was.
You
know,
just
I was
never
thinking
think
the
you're
same
going to be
thing.
that guy that gets caught.
Nah.
Do it.
Another thing that made this game had everything to go ahead and become game of the year. It really did.
It was a Fallout game, so you obviously
It was a
already
Fallout
have the
game.
blueprint.
It was on.
It had the blueprint.
had the
They
blueprint.
started from. It's like they started this
I've
fucking
seen-
game from scratch.
I hope you didn't throw out the old blueprints. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't want to see
Because
like.
now you absolutely know what doesn't work, which is also advantageous for you. Like, you know
That's
what
true.
works, and now you know what absolutely doesn't work.
Yeah,
So
dude, they came out with this game way too early.
Fallout 77 better be banned. that's all
Real
I'm saying.
quick, when y'all check it out for
give
me,
me a Fallout
when did 4 come out?
I got you.
Because Fallout 4 and then 76 were very, very close to each other,
Oh,
as
God,
opposed
yeah.
to
But
as
here-
New
opposed
Vegas
to when
and 4 or 3 and 4.
or 3 in New Vegas.
But here's the thing. Check this out. You could have taken the fucking blueprint of Fallout 4 and just incorporated multiplayer online co-op play.
Okay, so when did 76
You know what I'm
come out?
saying?
76 came out 18.
Okay, yeah. This Fallout 4 came out November 10th, 2015.
3 years.
Which is, I mean,
It's not terrible.
3 years isn't bad if you're not trying to reinvent a fucking game.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You literally just take fucking Fallout 4, you change some of the elements of the game, and you incorporate an online co-op play.
Like, this is what I don't understand. Like, this
with
is what
with the new fucking I like to only play with 2 other people sort of thing.
I get the 76 thing you're trying to do, but like Fallout 3 to Fallout 4, you improved upon what you already had, you changed the story. Why didn't you just give me Fallout 5, change the story, give me my people? Why couldn't you
Yeah.
just do that?
So maybe that's what we'll get for Fallout
So
5.
here's
That would be so sick. Then I'll go better late than never. As long as this game's cool, I'll let the 76 shit
So
Oh,
slide
this-
now.
and since Microsoft owns Bethesda, and we keep cutting Wes off, I'm so sorry,
That's
Wes.
fine.
Since Bethesda is now owned by Microsoft, maybe we'll get Fallout 5 on Game Pass.
Never be on Game Pass. They'll charge us for it, but at least I know I can play it now.
Eat a dick.
hey man, yo, dude, we're getting Halo on fucking Game Pass when it drops.
Yeah, but that's not
Because
Bethesda.
let's be real. A hot take. it's going to be just as boring as every other Halo after fucking 4 hours. That's why.
I mean, look,
I really hope you're wrong and you eat those words.
Dude, I always hope I'm wrong when it comes to
Because
games.
I love the campaign on Halo games.
I loved all of the Halo campaign.
They're just never any fucking. They're never any different. The graphics are always the fucking same. The aliens are always the same. The guns are always the fucking same.
And the music's always the same and epic. And the fucking storyline is always the same and epic. It doesn't fucking matter.
No, give me something different.
Eat a dick.
Give me a different. I don't know.
Look, I'm not a fucking Microsoft aficionado. Fuck.
Let me dual wield swords, and then I'll let you go.
Let me tell you something.
Here we go with this shit.
This game's gonna be fucking phenomenal, and I'm excited.
Give me dually swords, and I'll let it go.
I'll give you fucking dually swords.
I'll give you Thule doors.
So what people wanted from this game?
We didn't. I know.
Oh no. Well, not. I mean, when it came out, it was we wanted the game to be more polished. We wanted NPCs. We wanted a better end game, more robust PvP, and co-op options. Because that's the thing.
We didn't want more robust PvP. I didn't give a fuck about. And I don't think anyone in this room cares about PvP. Did they?
No. I'm not talking about us.
I know.
I'm
we the people,
just as a community.
Yeah.
As a collective.
And dude, I mean, if you would have given us this stuff, this game would have easily been Game of the Year. But
oh yeah.
Now here's the caveat, and this is going towards that No Man's Sky type thing because they fucking revamped the entire thing after year one.
They started coming out with seasons, right? Like season 1, season 2, where they
after everything that happened year one, they said, hey, guess what we're going to do? We're going to bring in NPCs. So when they brought in the NPCs, then we started going ahead and getting campaigns following along those guidelines. And then you have, I think right now they're doing something with the Brotherhood of Steel. You know what I mean, with the first interaction of them.
Yep.
You know, that's the new DLC that's out.
I'll give them some credit for how clever they tried to be to work the story in as to why they weren't there to begin with. Mm-hmm. How like that season 1 or the first season was like supposedly you kind of like rebuilding shit before the settlers arrive, and then that season 1 and when people started freaking out like, all right, there's no one here. They're like, oh, so now the settlers have arrived. It's like I see what you're trying to do here.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll let it go, but.
I won't.
Don't think
You're
we don't.
Don't
think
nice.
we don't.
Stop
see,
being nice.
Don't think we don't see what you're doing.
Nah, but they've switched a lot with this game now.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have. I mean, now you have NPCs. I mean, you still have the same overseer campaign that you could do from the beginning of when the game first came out. But you can also go ahead and run with your peeps. You know what I mean? You can do the co-op. Look, you probably still got to worry about people coming up shooting you in the back of the head, you know what I mean, and then becoming wanted because that was something that was prevalent in the game because they kill you, steal all your shit.
I remember fucking annoying.
Do you remember that one day where you and I were trying to? What's that shit that people get all hopped up on in that fucking game?
Psycho?
Yeah, remember that one dude that just had like a fucking axe and kept popping himself up on Psycho and chasing us around? Yo, we tried 4 hours to fuck this dude up and just couldn't do it. I felt like I was in a fucking murder movie. I felt like I was in Friday the 13th or something. Like this dude just kept following us around with this big ass axe, hopped up on fucking Psycho and would not leave us alone.
Literally the worst day of my life.
That fucking sucks, dude.
It was terrible. But yeah, one of the biggest things that we didn't even touch on yet was were you going to get into like how broke some of the missions were when it first came out?
Go ahead.
So like I remember the first time we tried to play one of the missions, it all led to being in this location where this dude had barricaded himself in a room and you had to kill him. But if someone else in your server had already killed him, he'd be dead by the time you got there, and you couldn't complete the mission. You had to keep bouncing in and out of servers, hoping to God that you would land in one where no one had done it yet. So that's pretty dumb to make missions like server specific as opposed to player specific. Like you allowed how many people in a server? Do you remember?
16, I think it was.
16.
At that time.
So if one of those 16 was on the same part as you and did that, you couldn't even finish it.
Nope.
And
fucking hated that. I remember that.
It's not. It's not like they couldn't do what's been done before. Because I mean, look at what like Destiny. When you played a game like Destiny, when you got into those spots to where you had like a campaign-driven thing, your team would be the only ones doing that thing.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Dude, everybody else would fade out, and then it would be your team doing the mission
your
objective.
Squad, yep.
Yeah.
So obviously it's doable.
It was 100% doable years before it actually fucking happened. I mean, years before 76 came out. It's just the fact that they didn't want to go ahead and do that because then it would. I guess then it would take away something with the online aspect, which it didn't because Destiny and Destiny 2 do it beautifully.
Yeah.
Yeah. So recommendations for
Fallout
5 or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Strip away all that dumb shit. Take away all the PvP. I don't need.
Yeah, and
I don't need anyone in my server aside from the people that I'm
invite.
asking to be in.
Yeah, and then at that point in time, you give me Fallout 4, name it Fallout 5, change the location, make it a different story. Let me bring the homies.
I mean, the fact that they went to Boston, I'm probably less likely to get Philadelphia now, but that'd be cool. Like, it'd be cool. They're not going to stick that
all
close.
East Coast.
They're not going to stick that close. They're going to go somewhere else. We're going to get like fucking Fallout Sacramento or some shit.
No, you know what would be cool though? Give me a completely different part of the world.
I'm not mad at that. Look, nuclear shit
Canada,
can happen anywhere.
Mexico, yeah, anywhere.
Africa.
Russia, Africa. Like, dude, give me something. Give me like a different part of the world.
Yeah, dude.
Let me explore that.
Can you
South
imagine?
Africa, dude.
Oh, could you imagine getting chased by like
Going
an
to
irradiated
K-Town?
lion
Oh,
or some shit?
my
down
God.
in fucking Johannesburg. Like,
Fucking feral
my
ghouls, straight
God.
fucking
Done.
feral lions and shit.
That'd be
Fucking-
dope.
Oh, that's sick.
There you go,
that would be
Bethesda.
nice.
We already got your fucking Fallout 5. You come talk to us.
Get tagged.
You can have your fucking monies with it. We just want our names on it.
All right, yeah. So that was number 2, Fallout 76.
Jesus.
So now,
This one we're about to talk about is going to be a collective.
When I'm absolutely giving you a drum roll. We're number 1, bro.
Oh, well, I was gonna bring in number 1.
Okay, I'll give you a drum roll then.
Okay. So number 1, before you, oh my God, the drum roll's real here, boys. Well, okay, so it's gonna be Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh,
what
so
the fuck happened?
so see, I'm gonna explain to everyone what just happened.
Yeah,
his
please.
his brain fucked his mouth in Cyberpunk, and he decided to just roll with it for the 2077.
I
Like
did.
the first part didn't happen,
But it worked.
He
Kinda.
said, even though Cyberpunk happened, if I just go Cyberpunk 2077, it's gonna sound like I meant to do that shit.
I think the drum roll fucked up my head.
Now the drum roll.
Jesus
now,
Christ.
now the drum roll got him.
Look, either way, the number 1 is a collective between the 3 of us, which I'm actually really excited about. We're going to talk about this one together. This is research that has been done between the 3 of us, not just one at a time. So this is actually going to be really, really cool.
Cyberpunk motherfucking 2077.
Or Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Fuck.
I was like, oh, he's really just trying to sit in it, huh?
Yeah.
Now, let's go ahead and break down a bunch of the stuff that happened with this game. Even before we actually got our hands on it, you had one of the most abysmal versions of crunch anybody has ever seen.
Oh my God, yeah.
You mean
And
with
we
CD
did talk about
Projekt
it.
Red, which we talked about extensively in
Yep.
that in that crunch episode.
We sure did.
You had, when they created the game for the quote unquote next gen consoles. So you're talking about the PS5 and, well, no idea why my voice shook right there, but the PS5.
I don't know why my
and
voice
the
shaked.
Xbox Series X.
Yes.
And then when you got the game for PC, or I mean not like high running PCs, or for the PS4 or the Xbox One, you had a janky game with shitty graphics that couldn't handle what was going on, because they never downgraded the whole fucking system to go ahead and be able to run on these fucking things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Boy, did
and
it show.
From there, you got some of the greatest and most ridiculous fucking glitches that have ever been seen in the game.
I don't know that there's a single aspect of this game not broken. Like, not one.
And not to mention, it could happen at any point in time.
Oh my God, yeah, dude.
When you saw that dude Jackie get ripped out of the car and get like slide into the fucking ground, that's within the first hour of the game. You mean, because I've played that part.
Yeah. So let's just list some of the glitches that we witnessed. So you got people morphing into everything, be it the ground, anything in the
You
surroundings.
had a guy in a wheelchair, you punched him in the face, and then he
Stood
got
up and ran away.
By the
Oh
grace
my
of God.
How
He
about
went
the
in-
one that the dude was like, "Hey, go back where you came from," and it was this
She
chick.
ran into the trash
She ran into
pile.
the trash pile. Oh my God.
And disappeared.
dog. And
Disappeared
fucking
in the trash pile.
disappeared for good.
inside a building calling for a ride. This motorcycle just like rips down the hallway and runs somebody over.
Oh
Yup.
my God, fantastic.
Cars just dropping out of nowhere.
Cars fucking driving away and then being fucking magically transported back to the same location they just left.
Cars hitting pedestrians and the car flipping 50
Yes.
million times like you just hit the Terminator.
This shit's fucking nuts.
What else?
Dude.
Glitching in through the ground or into guardrails and getting stuck in guardrails. Cars.
getting
I mean,
stuck
And
in
then
there.
just watching them just freaking glitch out and shake.
Yeah, people that you're fighting just randomly
They're-
halting combat and just walking away and
Well, that, and also, I mean, you see a guy get decapitated, and then
he's still
get
and
up
he just
and walk
stays-
away
just-
with no head.
and then stands there on his hands on his hips and shit.
It's just a flesh wound.
For real.
Like-
Some Python
Yeah.
shit for real.
Like
exactly.
you don't like.
Bite him. Oh, I can't. Oh my
It,
God, dude.
It makes virtually no sense. And like I said, I can laugh at it because I didn't drop $70 in it.
I didn't either. And the thing, so here's the thing.
I mean, I only dropped 30 for it.
When you think,
You actually
what's
bought that
the
piece of
company's
shit?
what? Yeah, he did. The company's what? CD Project
CD
Red.
Projekt Red.
CD Project Red.
Same people that made The Witcher.
The Witcher. So when I think of that, right, exactly. And
You
you
remember
remember
set up for fucking success. And
but
with
here's
how
the
cool
thing.
they handled The Witcher too.
Exactly.
3.
You bought The Witcher 3 and you got all the DLCs and all the extra shit for free.
Yep.
And they put that little note in there like
That said, thank you.
thanking all their gamers, and this is why you're getting all this shit for free.
Yeah, obviously you know what? They set you up for fucking failure for this because they fucking literally they gaped and gapped that booty hole without lube.
Like I don't know if that's on like us, the gamer, that it's like, okay, just because you gave us a mile that time doesn't mean that you're gonna give us a mile every fucking time.
Right, but here's the
But
thing.
at least just put out a game that works. We didn't ask for a mile, we just asked for a game
Yeah,
that
my
works.
thing is like if you have the most talked about, and this was the most fucking talked about game ever.
For a stretch, dude. For
what
a
company?
long stretch.
What game was it? Grounded.
Grounded, yeah. In Grounded's trailer, which Grounded looked, I still haven't played it, but still looks like a fun ass game to
Which
play.
is also
Yeah.
on Game Pass.
As we're
This
going through the trailer, they're doing their thing, like, if you want to play the most anticipated game of the summer, and then you think it's-
play Cyberpunk.
Then you should wait.
Yeah,
you
that
should
shit was
wait.
so funny.
You should wait for Cyberpunk 2077. So it's like other games already knew that they didn't stand a chance. As far as
However,
competing
I
for Game
guarantee
of
you
the Year.
those other games are 10 times more successful than Cyberpunk.
Probably because they fucking work.
Yeah. God,
Like-
that's a shame.
The game was first
Oh, okay.
started
That's what he
being
said.
in development in 2011.
Jesus Christ. So that's 10 years.
You had, you basically had, you had 9 years to go ahead and fucking put this game out. And
Did it
this
come in
is what we
2020?
got.
Oh, it came out in 2020.
Yeah, it came out in 2020.
Yeah.
And and this is what we got, which was
This lump of shit.
it's horrible, dude. Absolutely horrible. Yeah. So I mean, dude, you had so many different crashes and stability problems in the game. The NPCs in the whole world had just had huge scripting issues. I mean, we already talked before about how you could literally be talking to somebody and they just walk off. You know what I mean?
Like,
Not being a part of
okay,
it.
cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you also you have people sitting on air. You mean laying back in beds that are on air? You mean like there's nothing underneath them?
Oh, my God.
It was just so janky.
Yeah, it was, unfortunately.
Yeah. So incredibly janky.
Like we talked about before with the Xbox One and PS4 versions. Huge issues because these games were designed for next gen consoles. So so you had a whole bunch of just graphic. Dude, it looked almost like Minecraft. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Type of graphics on
PS4.
On a PS4, which would have been, dude, it should have looked so good, so fucking pretty, dude. Like,
Or at least okay. It could have at least looked
There are
mediocre.
plenty of really good looking games on PS4. Plenty.
Yeah.
There's some that were good enough that you wouldn't be able to tell a humongous difference between that and a PS5. So the fact that looked that shitty, like you delayed and delayed and delayed and still fucked it up.
yeah. I heard a bunch of stuff. From people trying to reload into the games to where that it would start them off from the very beginning. People would lose their saves 100% in this game.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, dude. Yeah. When this first dropped, there were so many fucking problems.
Talk about taking someone from irritated to on the verge of fucking murder. If you're already irritated that your shit messed up and you're like, oh, let me just reset and start from like my most recent save, and then it starts you all the way over.
Not to mention, this is a 20 to 40 hour campaign game anyway.
Fuck
Dude,
off.
just a straight up classic, what you expect RPG, and the length of the gameplay. Tells you it is a classic RPG, and then say you're 25 hours in, and then it just fucking wipes.
Oh, my God. I would fucking murder somebody's life.
Like, yo, I would not be able to handle that shit.
Like this is how people end up on the news. Like this is how that happens.
Yeah, dude, there were a lot of poor performance problems on the PC. The GPUs just wouldn't be able to handle the situation. You had low quality texture issues, which is what I was talking about with the graphics. Talking about, looking very blocky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Looking like some like N64 type shit.
Yep.
Crackling audio on PC. If you have any issue on a PC, I'm already worried.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like they're the ones ready to handle whatever the fuck you can throw at them.
Yeah, dude, even a mid-level built PC, gaming PC, could go ahead and handle. It should be able to handle a game like Cyberpunk 2077 easy.
Yeah.
And then going ahead and having to deal with all sorts of fucking issues, and then you have to go ahead and just go through so many different things just to try to get the output right for the audio, all different fucking settings, and
That number
having
10.
to change the hertz and shit like that. Come on.
That number 10 that you're about to get to is some of the wildest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Enemies can see you through the walls or when dead. Yeah, that's some bullshit.
What in the fuck?
That's some fucking bullshit. And I mean, look, at the same time, some of your cybernetics in the game let you see people through walls at the same, too. So, I mean,
I'm less worried about that and more about the dead part. How you gonna see me when you dead?
You got bumped.
yeah, what's that, man? It's fucking janky as fuck. I mean, I only put maybe 2.5, 3 hours into this. You know what I
That
mean?
was already too much time.
Look, I walked away from it. I mean, it was one of the ones that I jumped in and I just didn't finish. Go figure, it's me. But
That makes sense.
That one is okay.
Yeah, we'll let it slide this time.
yeah, man. Yeah, you had invisible or missing NPCs. I mean, basically, kind of like what we talked about with Fallout 76.
Yeah.
I love that this website that you're getting all this shit off of has all of these horrendous issues, but they fixed floating weapons.
After killing some enemies.
Incredible. Yeah, after killing some enemies. So there's probably still some floating weapons out there.
Jesus Christ.
Hope we can find
The
them.
fact that that's the only one so far that has fixed in parentheses.
Oh, wait. No, what's that one?
Corrupted saves, which is what I was talking about before.
Okay, well, that's a big one. I'll give you that.
But yeah, man.
Oh, cool. So
that's-
you fixed 2 things.
Yeah, out of all the shit that we even remotely talked about, yeah, they only fixed 2. Yeah, dude, like this game,
That's a shame.
from being started up in 2011 and then going through, think of how many different like engines that game had to go through in order to go ahead and be created.
Yeah.
Now, if all these things still haven't been fixed, are we just at that?
I'm sure a bunch of them have.
They have. Okay. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was about to say, are they just in it is what it is at this point mode? And the game just, if you want to buy it, buy it. If not, don't. And then it just goes the way of Anthem, or what?
Hopefully.
Okay. When did this come out?
This article was written 2020 December. So I mean,
Okay, I would
and-
really fucking hope that a lot of those are fixed by now.
Well, now look, dude. I remember seeing, I've seen it in like IGN, news. I've seen a bunch of stuff, a bunch of bugs have been going ahead. Dude, they've been doing patches like this on this game like crazy.
All right, fine, fuck. At least
have a
you're-
game
all
like
of these
this,
games are making Anthem look so fucking bad because they're actually, at least before they just say fuck it, they're at least trying to make shit better.
That's true.
So like, I
Anthem
can be
just
mad as
said,
fuck.
"I give
like,
up."
Like, I can be mad at you for fucking this up to begin with, but then
Think
I
of
got to give you
these-
some credit for
well,
trying
yeah,
to fix it.
Yeah, newer games that came out shitty, but then they tried to fix them. Avengers, 76, No Man's Sky. Right?
Fucking, yeah. Anthem came out fucking blazing like a bat out of hell, fucking making tons of money in the first week. People
Ran into
fucking
some
loved
adversity
it.
and then
Yeah.
see ya.
And then EA was like, hey, BioWare, pull the fucking plug.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks. You could literally have one of the best games of all time.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to
Dirty.
this entire list, I think Anthem is the game that
It's the
had-
most frustrating.
It was overrated and
yeah,
underrated
I
at the
think-
same time. And I'm
I
frustrated
think
more than
I-
anything.
Yeah, I think Andy put it perfectly when it comes down to the most frustrating.
It's the most frustrating, yeah, because you had everything there.
Yeah,
You had everything there to make something
make
that-
something that
Yeah, and
that,
it's
that
not-
you could
nobody has
still be
done.
playing today, probably.
Yeah, and it's not like the game was fucking glitchy or fucking weird. It was just
No, it played.
The grind
I never
was,
had a problem with
it
how
was just
played.
lackluster and fucking tedious.
Little of a story change and then fix the grind. That's it.
That's it. That's
Like
all.
yeah,
Loop
like,
mechanics.
like maybe get like a different creative head behind
That's it, dude.
the storyline and maybe the development of characters and you're good.
I mean, at the same
Coulda
time,
had the world.
at the same time, BioWare has never been known for those style of games.
But
You
it
know
was
what I mean?
fucking
But just
phenomenal.
imagine a world where
Mass Effect isn't one of those style of games that have went ahead and had you know what I mean, grind for gear. You know what I mean? Dragon Age was another one that was BioWare, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they weren't a grind for gear type of system. So
I wonder if that was more like a EA move.
that could be the EA influence.
that could
I
have
guess.
been.
But just
know what I
imagine a game like we're sitting here talking about a BioWare game where the story sucks and is lackluster.
Yeah, that's like
That is
that's
rid-
never a thing.
That is not a thing. That is not a thing. If anything, you look
It's
at
only
the,
happened twice within the last 5 years.
you look at the best fucking
yeah,
games out
and
there.
Anthem and Andromeda.
Yeah,
Yep.
you look at the best games out there.
And even then, it still had a fucking story.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
you look at all the Mass Effect games and you look at the Dragon Age games, stories and everything, incredible. If you're gonna point to anything that's okay, whatever it is, what it is, it's the combat. Combat doesn't necessarily knock your socks off. It's not horrendous, but
No.
it's not like the world's greatest thing. You get Anthem,
Yeah.
and it's like they flip the script. The combat is fine. It's great. You have multiple options and avenues and shit you can do, but like there's nothing that makes you want to keep playing.
Yeah.
We talk about that all the time, what a great story can do. If like Mass Effect, all the Mass Effect games, the Dragon Age games, it's the story that's going to keep you playing that. That's what keeps you playing an original Mass Effect that is so tedious sometimes, but you just got to keep playing it.
Yep. That's true. That is so true.
I did decide to put this out on Discord as well.
What do we get?
To go ahead and kind of see what people thought with this topic, right? For games that flopped. For Alex from What's Your Spaghetti Policy, he went ahead and said XCOM was one, Red Dead Redemption 2 was another one, to where that they just, they were just sequels that just, they just shit the bed when it came down to what the game should have been as opposed to what we got.
Like improving upon what they had before. Yeah.
And
that seems to be like a characteristic between all of these games. If they're
that's pretty interesting, by the way, considering we just did the episode on sequels that were better than the originals.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
And then Blando was another one that went ahead and said Dragon Age 3. He felt that was a letdown for him. Dragon Age 3
My cousin said that too.
Look, man,
that didn't get far enough for me to really.
I played a lot of that one. I got almost to the end in that game, and the story wasn't that great. Like, dude, Origins and 2 were so much better when it came down to story. Jim Bop, which is the one guy from the UK that I started talking with a lot, he said the entire Sega CD32 system was just an absolute just flop for him. And I just love that he just took an entire console and just said, "What the hell?"
Say again, the entire what?
Terrible sequel.
The Sega CD32.
Oh fuck yeah, fuck.
Sega Saturn came out after that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so
like when
that's what I got off of the Discord.
When you even have a Sonic game for Sega CD and that shit sucks, like you fucked up.
Sucks, yeah.
Like if you're Sega and you can't do Sonic right, like that's a problem.
All right, so
that is our list. So that was a solid episode, boys.
Enjoyed that.
So now,
because this episode was so long.
Yeah, we're gonna cut it here. We're gonna do a little bit
a computer glitch.
Yeah, a little bit later in the week though. We're gonna drop some news and kind of like a what are we playing? Change it up a little bit. Give you guys a little bit of extra bonus content in the week. But in the meantime, this is where you can find CGC. And this is where you can check us out. Again, you can always connect with CGC at consolegamingcrew.com, which is connected to our Gmail, which is consolegamingcrew@gmail.com. We have our Twitter, which is at Console Crew, our YouTube channel, which is Console Gaming Crew as well, along with our Instagram, which is the same handle, which is Console Gaming Crew. We don't talk about Facebook anymore. We're just going to let that one fly under the radar. You can check us out on Boss Rush Networks, which is bossrushgames.com. We're not the only content creators there. We have a lot of other awesome content you can check out there aside from just the CGC. You can also check us out on our Twitch, which is CGC Podcast. We collectively play there together. Believe it or not, we just played there last night.
Yep.
We'll talk about that in our little bonus content, which you'll hear hopefully a little bit later this week, which is going to be dope. But we do a co-op on Fridays for a game that you'll hear from us.
Yeah,
Wes, which is his
my standard co-op.
His standard co-op on Monday nights, and so that's where you can check us out.
Drop us a line.
Yeah,
give us something.
All right, so we hope you guys jump in later this week for the bonus episode, to where once again it is news and what are we playing? So
nothing crazy,
nothing too nuts. So until next time, as always, please stay safe, wash your hands, mask up if you need to.
Game on,
game on,
game on, y'all. Peace.